how you put up with me, honestly.
I'm like, hey, let's all have dinner. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's all
What's your
good.
favorite spot, Greg? We'll go, You and I will split the check and then be broke for a while. The other conversation I wanted to get into with the Broncos is what this free agent class has done for them. How do we look at the Broncos? How does the league now look at the Denver Broncos? And if I tell you there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the AFC that I think can be ranked in the top 5 of the AFC. So they're going to be 2 odd teams out. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, they're not going to be the odd teams out, Cecil. They're 1, 2, and 3, and you can put them in any pecking order that you want. I just wrote it down as Kansas City 1, Buffalo 2, Baltimore 3. You know why? Kansas City played in the Super Bowl, the Bills played in the AFC Championship, and Baltimore, well, Mark Andrews cost them that opportunity. Now there are Cincinnati, Denver, Los Angeles, the Chargers, and the Houston Texans. Those are the other 4, if you will, in the AFC that I think are right there. Cincinnati obviously has been there before, but what the heck's going to happen to that team when you've paid your quarterback and 2-star wide receivers? You're already seeing things happen on the defensive side of the football. So for slots 4 and 5, who gets them? Cincy, Denver, LA, Houston.
Yeah, Denver's got to get that. Cincy, their ownership is cheap and their defense is terrible. All right. How's that working out? You can have the offense, and we kept T. Higgins. Okay.
They did that last year.
Sure. Congrats.
Yeah.
What'd that get you? Didn't even make the playoffs.
No playoffs, yeah.
Exactly. So I look at the Broncos being better than Houston. I think we may disagree on the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh is always going to be a problem. Always going to be a problem. But that team's always going to choke. Even if they get to the postseason, they're going to choke. That's what the Chargers do. So
I just have a hard time putting Denver over a team that beat them twice most recently. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? If they split, I'd be right there with you.
Okay, I
but
get
it's
it.
an offer,
I get it. I'm thinking more playoffs and like who
fair.
can
That's
move
fair.
further in the playoffs. I believe that Sean Payton's team can move further than Jim Harbaugh's team because, one, we've seen a cap on Harbaugh. He can get you there. He can't win it all. He hasn't done it before. Sean Payton will get you there and he'll win it. Unless the league stands in his way.
Yeah, right.
Terrible no calls against the Saints years ago. But yeah, so for me, this is a team that pushes for top 5 in the conference. And that means Buffalo, we're coming for you. That's the point. That's the target. The target isn't just to get to the playoffs again. They've done that. The target is to win the division, to get a better seeding in the playoffs. Yes, you're going to try for the number 1 seed, but I'm here to tell you, as the resident Broncos homer, I'm here to tell you that they're not the number 1 seed in the AFC. But they're a team that could get to the conference championship to face likely Buffalo. And who doesn't want that dish of revenge, which is best served cold? Of course, it's Buffalo. It's going to be cold.
I like that,
A year from now, you serve it up to them to prevent them from going to a Super Bowl because will the Bills win anything with Sean McDermott?
No, they will not.
I don't believe so. They've got the quarterback. They've got some players. They've got a coach who's just less an unlikable John Fox. At least John Fox was beloved. I love Foxy. Love him.
I have a different opinion, but liked him as a coach.
Okay.
But it was my job back then. I was cut up audio guy.
Yeah.
And he starts everything with, and I had a hard time with that.
Okay.
So personal bias over here, but coaching-wise, I'm
All
with
right.
you.
Well, he'd always tell Dick Cheney jokes.
Oh,
He wouldn't
really?
even watch practice when the media was out there. He'd just come over and tell us Dick Cheney jokes. And then I remember his sons, 2 of his 3 sons, work for Marvel.
What?
So he comes over and he's like, you're a comic book guy.
So he starts out with everything.
He goes to me, he goes, what the hell's an Ant-Man? Because this is when Ant-Man was being made.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let me tell you about it. And then he's like, his eyes glazed over. He's like, my sons didn't know who Robert Redford was because they worked on Captain America Winter Soldier. And then he's like, now they're working on something called an Ant-Man. What the hell's an Ant-Man? And so I
broke it down for him.
got to talk to John Fox about Ant-Man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, what about his kids? That's a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah, it's a sweet
Working
gig.
for freaking Marvel?
Yeah.
Nice going right there.
Make some better movies now, Marvel. Holy cow.
That would be great. If I had to rank them, I don't know what you're going to like this one, Cease.
Uh-oh.
I have Denver at 6. I can't get over the LA thing, man. Here's my top 5. KC, Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincy, I still
Cincy?
Joe Burrow
Cincy
is Joe Burrow, man.
can't play defense.
I mean, they can score 40 a game though.
You know Trey Hendrickson? He's pretty good.
He is.
Did he get traded yet? Because
won't
he
be
wanted
there.
out.
You're right. He won't be there.
Yeah.
But right now, I cannot just overlook
I'm
Joe
offended.
Burrow.
I'm offended.
So I go Cincy 4, Chargers 5, Denver 6.
Nah.
And
no.
Houston 7. But man, we're talking about I feel like I'm not crazy for putting them at 6 because what were they 2 years ago?
Cincinnati didn't make the playoffs.
That's because their defense is so bad.
Why can't Bo Nix be Joe Burrow? Why not?
I mean, he can, but
I don't believe he is.
But right now, Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow and Bo
Yeah.
Nix is Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So he can get there. I'm not telling you there's a ceiling on Bo Nix that's any of these quarterbacks, but he's not any of them right now.
Okay.
And he's still, some of that's not his fault. Troy Franklin can't catch the damn ball. Devon Bailey didn't have enough reps on the field because
Sure,
you're getting
right.
other opportunities.
Right.
Marvin Mims didn't even show up until week 9.
Yeah.
So it's not all of it is pinned on Bo. It's just kind of the state of the team.
Well, and
I'm telling you, man, top 6 is pretty damn good.
Well,
Cease.
let's rank the defenses then, right? It's all about a team. Am I right?
Yeah.
The Broncos should be in your top 5. You got to get Cincy out of there, man. Cincy got just garbage defense, terrible defense, worst defense. Get him out of there. Get him out of there, Kev. Cincinnati can't be ranked higher than Denver. They didn't even make the playoffs.
No, but they did beat us, unfortunately. So does that
that's
come
right,
into
the final-
effect?
or not the final week.
Well,
but
it did for him because he said the Chargers swept him, so that can't have him
it's-
above L.A.
The last time I watched these guys play each other, the Chargers won twice and the Bengals won once.
Okay. All right. I get it.
And
but
like I
let's-
said, I don't want to be like anti-Broncos guy.
no,
I have
no,
them
no,
sixth
you
in
have
the
him
conference.
sixth in the KFC. That's pretty good.
They
That's
were
really
picking
good.
12 2 years ago. Now they're 6th in the conference.
I just like the idea of them being a top 5 team.
And they
Because
can
I
earn that.
feel
They can get to that.
They can. And again, the picture is incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
If they get Omarion Hampton and Kev, just control yourself when that happens.
Oh, my God.
You know that's what's setting up to happen for this Broncos team.
I guess we know his next Christmas present.
Yeah, we know that.
We should give him a North Carolina one.
No, see, don't go too far.
I was going to say, how's that work when the Duke fan loves the North Carolina running back?
Oh, we don't have a football team at Duke, so that one doesn't really come into effect.
Well, once the picture is complete, would you be able to change? With new information, new opinions can be formed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already there as them being a top 5 team. And I kind of don't even like Kansas City being above them, but I'm going to genuflect to what the AFC conference champions were.
Sure.
I still think that's a team that's going to take a step back, and they've been taking steps back, and they've been winning Super Bowls. That's the problem. They're so good. The Chiefs are down. Oh, God, they got to the Super Bowl. They've been down the last 2 years. They won one, and they got there. So let's kind of tamper the Chiefs are down talk because they can still put up a hell of a fight. But I'm going to get you in the top 5. You get an Omarion Hampton.
See, I will.
You get a Mason Taylor.
With
Man.
new info, I will come around a little bit.
I think you could start saying like 5. I think 5 is a real good number.
Okay.
They're 5. They're not up there and not up there. They're not Buffalo. I still want Buffalo, though. To be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of Sean McDermott. I'm not afraid of Kansas City. I'm not afraid of Lamar Jackson. I'm not afraid of any of the teams that you would have ranked above them, even if they were 5, but you have them at 6, whatever. Like, I'm not afraid of the Chargers. And again, I'm thinking postseason football. Postseason football. So the Cincinnati Bengals make the playoffs. Oh, my God, they make the playoffs. All right. Bo, just go drop 40 on them because our defense can't stop anybody. And if we factor in the defense, aren't the Broncos, and don't give me the numbers. Don't give me the numbers. I don't need to see them because the Broncos defense fell apart last year. It fell apart last year. I don't need to see the numbers. Wouldn't you say the Broncos have a top 5 defense in the entire NFL? So you're going to tell me a top 5 defense in the entire NFL, a rising star at quarterback, a playoff team, wild card appearance.